Have you ever wondered what actually happens in someone's mind when you suddenly disappear from their life? No texts, no calls, no explanations, just silence. Most people assume the other person simply moves on. But psychology tells a very different story. When someone who was once present suddenly vanishes, the brain begins a powerful emotional process: curiosity, confusion, doubt, sometimes even obsession. And the most interesting part, these emotions don't happen all at once. They unfold day by day. So today we're going to explore exactly what happens in her mind when you disappear. Day 1, confusion. The first day is usually the calm before the storm. At first, she probably doesn't think much about it. People are busy. Maybe you're working. Maybe you're occupied. Maybe you just forgot to text. So she waits. She might check her phone a few times. But there's no real emotional reaction yet. The brain naturally assumes normal explanations. This stage is important because expectations still feel safe. Nothing seems wrong, but the silence has already started planting a small seed of curiosity. Day 2, curiosity. By the second day, something begins to feel slightly unusual. If communication used to happen regularly, the sudden absence becomes noticeable. She may start thinking, "Why hasn't he messaged me? Did something happen? Is he busy?" Curiosity begins to grow. And curiosity is powerful, because when the brain doesn't have answers, it starts creating them. This is where the psychological process begins. The mind fills silence with imagination. Day 3, checking. By the third day, curiosity turns into investigation. She might check your social media, look at your last online status, scroll through old conversations, trying to find clues. People do this naturally when uncertainty appears. Humans dislike emotional ambiguity. The brain wants clarity, so it searches for patterns. But when there are no answers, curiosity becomes stronger. Day 4, doubt. By the fourth day, something deeper begins to happen: doubt. Now she starts wondering if the silence is intentional. Questions begin forming. Did I say something wrong? Is he upset with me? Did he lose interest? Doubt is powerful because it shifts focus inward. Instead of simply wondering what you're doing, she begins wondering what she did. And when people question themselves, emotional investment often increases. Day 5, emotional awareness. Around day 5, the silence becomes real. At this point, she fully notices your absence. If you were someone she talked to regularly, the emotional space you occupied becomes visible. Small moments begin reminding her of you, a place you visited, a conversation you had, something funny you said. This is when your absence becomes emotionally noticeable. Sometimes people only realize someone's importance once they are gone. Day 6, curiosity turns into attraction. Here is where psychology becomes interesting. When someone disappears, they become unpredictable, and unpredictability often increases attention. The human brain is wired to notice things that change suddenly. Your absence becomes a mystery, and mystery naturally attracts attention. The more she wonders about your silence, the more mental space you begin occupying. Day 7, ego reaction. By the end of the first week, another psychological force appears: ego. If she was used to your attention, your disappearance can trigger something unexpected. Pride. Questions like, why did he stop texting? Did he find someone else? Why would he suddenly disappear? Sometimes this stage creates irritation, not because she dislikes you, but because losing attention can feel like losing control. Week 2, reflection. Now something deeper begins. Reflection. The emotional noise begins calming down, and the brain starts analyzing the past. She may replay conversations, think about moments you shared, Try to understand what the relationship actually meant. Reflection often increases emotional clarity. Sometimes people begin appreciating someone more during this stage because distance highlights what once felt normal. Week 2. Missing the familiar. Humans are creatures of habit. We become comfortable with familiar interactions. When those interactions disappear, the brain notices the change. This is why people sometimes miss someone, not because they were perfect, but because they were present. Routine creates emotional comfort, and your disappearance breaks that routine, which makes the absence more noticeable. Week 3. Curiosity peaks. If the silence continues into the 3rd week, curiosity can reach its highest point. At this stage, she may wonder things like, why hasn't he come back? Did he lose interest? Did I misread everything? The longer silence continues, the more mysterious the situation becomes, and mystery keeps the brain engaged. But something important happens here. Curiosity can move in 2 directions. It can either increase emotional interest or begin the process of emotional closure. Week 4. Acceptance or interest. By the 4th week, the mind usually reaches one of 2 conclusions. Either she begins accepting that you're gone, or she becomes even more curious about why you disappeared. If strong emotions existed before the silence, your absence might increase interest. But if the connection was weak, the brain eventually begins moving forward. This is an important psychological truth. Silence can create curiosity, but it cannot create deep emotional connection if it didn't exist before. The hidden psychology of disappearing. The real reason disappearance creates such strong reactions comes down to something called the uncertainty principle in human relationships. Humans dislike incomplete stories. We want explanations. We want closure. When someone vanishes without explanation, the brain continues searching for meaning. This is why silence can sometimes feel louder than words, because unanswered questions echo longer in the mind. The Stoic perspective. Interestingly, ancient Stoic philosophy often emphasized emotional independence. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius believed that a person's peace should not depend entirely on the actions of others. Disappearing from someone's life can reveal something powerful, not just how they feel about you, but how emotionally dependent the connection truly was. Final insight. So what really happens when you disappear? First comes confusion, then curiosity, then reflection, and sometimes realization. But the most important lesson isn't about making someone miss you. It's about understanding how human psychology responds to absence. Because the truth is this: presence creates comfort, but absence creates awareness. Sometimes people only realize the value of someone when that person is no longer there. And in the silence that follows, the mind begins asking questions it never asked before. If this resonated with you, subscribe to join the 1% who choose logic over impulse. I'll see you in the next one.